Okay, guys, so this is a quick video. I just want to go over the changes I made to the D6 Star Wars rule set. Just so you guys can, I mean, there's so many changes, and you may have to watch this video a couple times because I'm going to go fast, but this will kind of help you out on where to go. All right, so the first thing I want to look at, I want to look at items. So these are some items. So now these items were created with the old rule set. And so what I did is I did the best I could to basically come in here, and so you won't have to redo any records. There is one thing you will have to go back and adjust, and it's right here. So if you go look at skill, so skill we used to put in like that. All we're going to do now is we're going to type in the specialization right here. Okay. And then we're just going to delete it up here. And the reason you do that is because I automated it. So when you add this weapon to a character sheet, let's pull Leroy up. Let's see if I go inventory, let's give him a blaster. We're going to equip it. When I equip it, it pops over here, and you can see these two appear. So when I roll this, what it's going to look for is blaster pistol, and then it's going to look for blaster, and then it's going to look at your dex. Okay, so in this case, let's set our dex to 2D. So if I roll it now, it's going to roll 2D. Okay, now if I were to go in here and create a skill, I'm going to show you how to do that. You just create a skill. You're going to say blaster. Okay, now it's very important you type in dexterity here, because this is what the base skill it falls under. All right, and then you drag it to there, and let's say this is a 4D. 4D. Okay, that works. It's different. Let's say it's 4D plus 1. I always like trying to trip it up, see if I can get errors. So let's see, it's not going to. And I roll it, I get my 4D plus 1. Okay, and you can see it rolled a trained skill. It tells you what it did. Okay, same thing if I add blaster pistol. If I just change this to pistol, we'll change it up so you can 3D plus 1. All right, and if I roll it again, it's going to roll 3D plus 1. Oh, I got a wild die, and there we go. It used my specialization skill, so it's completely automated. So I think that's kind of cool. You'll notice that the wild die is always going to be blue. How I did it was it's no matter what the last die is, it's the wild die. So if you're rolling 3 dies, it's the 3rd die. If it's the 4th die, it's the 4th die. And then each die after that's going to turn green. But it could also, you can get another wild die. So it's going to go, it could have 6 blue, 6 green, and then just keep going and going. So that's how that works. If you need to boost the die or the pips, so let's do this. I made these editable, but let's make this +2. So if I roll this +2, it's going to roll 4D and then add 2 pips to it. Well, if I put 2 pips on here, now it should roll 5D and add a pip to it. So let's see what it does. Right, so it just works just like before, even though I completely redid the rollers, okay, and streamlined them. All right, so, and I added these to every single part, every single sheet, where you need them. Okay, now armor, same thing. So if I roll my armor, it's going to automatically add my strength to this. In this case, my strength is 1. So and now it's going to roll 2 dice. So again, the dex penalty and perception penalty is automated. So if I were to go in here and take these, let me find a piece of armor that's good. And again, these are items were already created. Were created like a year ago. So oh, look, I can just sort. I can find Coruscant armor. I think that's gonna have a penalty. Yep, it's got a dex reduction. So if I roll my dex, it's just gonna roll a D1. Okay. Now if it's already a 1, right? It doesn't roll, right? Because you get no roll, even if I had pips on there. But if I go like and add a pip, now it's gonna roll 1 dice. So I think that's pretty cool. Okay, initiative, it pulls it right off your perception there. I think we went through combat. Let's go to the ships tab. Actually, let's not. Let's go to the powers tab. So here's how I did force powers. It looks a little bit similar as before, but really you can just go over here and you can grab your force powers and you can drag it, right? So, and you can see this looks a lot like 5e, right? Now, if I add a force power, I can add one. I can right click it, and the only things available here are effect or cast, right? And if I click on cast, whoops, I got to go to this, open it up under type. You're going to write in what it is. So in this, we're going to say it's sense. Okay. Let's change this to 3D. Now I can roll sense from up here if I want to. Right? Roll control from up there. But I can also just click this button now, and it's going to pull the sense power. So pretty sweet, I think, right? And then these might be changed around a little bit. So if you did put your force powers in, you may have to go double check those. If you did, I'm sorry. I'm probably not going to help you on force powers. There's not too many of them. But the big thing is the items should definitely be good to go. All right. So that's that. All right. So before we talk the ships tab, let's talk about vehicles. So, okay. Well, one more second. You get skills here. You can build all your skills in now. Now, I'll go ahead and talk about species and type. I haven't put them in yet. The records are there. You can actually put in the data at the front, but I haven't built in the back yet, and I haven't added the automation. So the idea would be that we can put species in there, and if you want to give them specific skills, perhaps, it's going to be automated drag and drop. I even got the little placeholders there. And then this thing with the type, I think the thing will be is we can actually build a template out. So if you want to have a template of like a bounty hunter or whatever, you could build it on there and then you can drag and drop. So that's like on my list to do way later. Okay. But let's talk about ships. So we're going to go to vehicles. So you can notice two things. There's vehicles, and then above quest, there's player vehicles. So we want to put in all of our records here under vehicles. Okay. So I built this multi-ship transport in here. You can see this is what it looks like if I lock the record. All right. Pretty cool. And then under the actions tab, I have all my weapon systems. Okay. It even has the skill. Now, how you do this? When I open up my vehicles, it looks like this. Okay, so I'm going to add some different types, but right now the two types are vehicle. That would be like a walker or whatever. And you'll notice it has like body strength and a few other different things. It doesn't have hull. And then the other one we're going to do is just ship. Okay. I think it'll take starship and I think capital ship right now, but ship. And you can see it has all this data for you to enter in. Okay. All right. So you get all that built in, and right now this is going to operate as an NPC ship. Okay. If you want it to be a player ship, okay, and you want it to appear over here, you hit this clone to PC ship button. I'm going to do it. I'm going to delete this. So I'm going to do it just to show you. So it makes it, now this is a player vehicle. It's exactly the same, but it's a totally different record, okay? Now, if we want to give this ship to the players and they're going to fly around on it, we're going to open the party sheet and we're going to go to the ships tab. Now, this is exactly similar to Cepheus engine, and which is probably similar to Starfinder, I think. Although I don't play Starfinder, so we're going to remove it. Okay, so what we do is we take this and we drag it and we drop it. Okay, now, as soon as we do this, what it does is it makes a copy over here on the party sheet. Okay, you don't want to hit this button now. Now this is like this is just acts kind of like a character sheet. If it has ships in the hangar bay, we can take more player vehicles and we can just drop them in the hangar bay. Okay, now what we do is we go to the player ship and disembark that. And let me add something. Right now this disembark is not clearing everything. It just clears the ship from it, but I'm going to reset it. Oh, it doesn't take vehicles. I forgot. See, that's what happens when you try to grab a vehicle. All right, so it reset it for that. I'm going to disembark that. All right, so if I grab this, and don't grab it from the sidebar like I just did. If I go and grab this, I can add it on there, and it's going to set up my. Let's make sure it did this right. Oh, look, see, I do need to go back in here and delete this because see, I left gunnery on there. See, I always find something. So what it does is it copies this record onto the character sheet. This guy has no shields, but if he did, you could roll him. And it's okay for the skill to be like this on here. Because there is no way to roll skill over here. You have to actually roll it over onto the main tab if you have it. Okay, but all of these other buttons that have these little dice are completely rollable, right? We can roll all these things. If I put in, it has no sensors, but if I had sensors, or I did put sensors in, you can roll your sensors, right? Um, Whole body maneuver is 0D. It doesn't give you a bonus. So that's how that works. So this is lets the player go in there and basically make all the rolls for the ship that they're on. If he's on like a smaller ship out of the hangar bay, all you do is you drag that onto there, right? And it will copy it. Obviously, it's not showing you because here I can do test ship disembark. So I'm going to go back in here today and actually go in here and make this a delete when I disembark. You can see now it updates everything for the test ship. Okay, so and when if you want to clear it and he wants to get into another ship, you just would disembark it, but it's all going to stay. All the information is going to stay here over on the party sheet. And what I mean by that is you can then go in and you can add these to the combat tracker. They always show up as friendly. ID them and see how the undamaged it starts updating. And then as they take damage or whatever, the DM can come in here and update things. The DM can make all these rolls from the combat tracker. The DM can also add these damage buttons. And so if it's a ship and it takes light damage, you roll it, and then it's going to put out the table for you. Heavy damage, severe damage, and then if it's a vehicle added, these buttons right there. So it's going to roll on that table for you. We'll just keep that a secret amongst ourselves. So anyways, so that's pretty much how that works. Now, what the reason you do this is like, I mean, really the only thing we're recording here is lightly damaged. It's definitely not as involved as Cepheus, but I can delete this now and it's all over there. So when I add it back, it just tracks my damage. Okay. Now, there might be other things you guys want me to add. We can look into that. Again, these records aren't completely built in, so there's like lots of empty spaces here. But you kind of get the gist of it. And all this can be rolled on here. So the other thing I have on here is an NPC. Here's an example of an NPC. Now it looks way different, but they should. Except for the weapons, all of these fields should definitely translate. I use the same. So how I did NPCs is kind of interesting. So I gave them an inventory, and so you could just drag weapons onto the inventory and equip them. And as soon as you equip them, they're going to pop down here. Now, this was a test guy I did. So the skills, they don't have they're not broken up by base attribute. So you would just put all the NPC skills right here. And so in this case, he's using a club and it's melee combat. So if I roll that, it's going to be 4d6, right? If I didn't have melee combat, let's where's my delete button? Let's just delete it like this. Now if I roll it again, it's going to do 3 because that's what my dex score is. Okay, pretty neat. Now I can also do it straight up on here. So, you never have to open a record. You can just roll all these. And then again, his damage is just toggled right here. And the players will see that. I do need to update this physical roll because I just remembered it's just not adding his strength to it yet. I need to fix that. So there's a couple things I got to fix in here. So anyways, oh, and then powers works just like yours. The characters he has, you just drag and drop. I didn't add that to the combat tracker because it's kind of getting crazy because you're going to have up here skills are going to get populated. Then right here is where weapons are going to get populated, and you're just having another window list with force powers. I figured it'd probably be easier just to open the record and cast them from there. So that's pretty much the changes, I think. As you can see, a lot of cool changes on the combat tracker, and then the whole vehicle things. It's going to be easier to do your space stuff. So let me know if you got any feedback. Appreciate watching. Thanks.